Emma was just 7 years old. She had big brown eyes, messy hair that curled at the ends, and a faded pink jacket 2 sizes too small. She lived in the old part of town with her mother, Clara, who worked long hours as a cleaner. Their days were often quiet, and their dinners were humble, if they had any dinner at all. The mayor of the city, Mr. Henry Wallace, was a popular figure. Known for his eloquent speeches and ambitious projects, he often stood on grand stages, promising a brighter future for the town. Today was no different. The town square buzzed with excitement as people gathered to hear him announce his latest development project, a state-of-the-art shopping mall that would, according to him, bring prosperity to everyone. Emma wasn't there for the mayor's speech. She didn't even know who he was. She was there because her mother had sent her to find some bread. Clara had given her the last few coins from her pocket, whispering softly, "Try to find something, sweetheart." But the bakery was closed, and Emma's stomach growled louder with every passing minute. As the mayor stood on the stage, his deep voice echoed across the square. "This mall," he declared, "will create hundreds of jobs and transform our town into a hub of opportunity." The crowd cheered. Emma wandered into the crowd, clutching her coins tightly. The people around her clapped and cheered, but Emma didn't understand their excitement. All she could think about was her empty stomach. She pushed her way through the crowd until she was close to the stage. She looked up at the mayor, who seemed so tall and important, and without thinking, she called out, "Excuse me, sir." The crowd quieted, surprised by the small voice cutting through the mayor's speech. Mr. Wallace paused, squinting at the tiny figure below him. Emma took a deep breath and said, "I'm hungry." Her voice was clear and honest, carrying an innocence that tugged at everyone's heart. For a moment there was silence. The mayor blinked, clearly caught off guard. The crowd murmured, unsure how to react. A little girl had just interrupted a polished politician's speech with something so simple yet so profound. Mr. Wallace cleared his throat, trying to regain his composure. "Young lady," he said, forcing a smile, "I assure you that our town's future will bring opportunities for everyone, including you." But Emma didn't care about opportunities. She didn't care about the future. She cared about the present, about the ache in her belly that had been her companion for days. She looked up at the mayor with those big brown eyes and said, "I don't want a mall. I just want food." The crowd gasped. A few people turned to each other, whispering. Suddenly, the mayor's grand project didn't seem so grand anymore. A woman in the crowd stepped forward. Her name was Mrs. Harper, a retired schoolteacher known for her kindness. She knelt down beside Emma and said gently, "Do you have anyone with you, dear?" "My mom," Emma replied. "She's working. She told me to find bread." Mrs. Harper stood up, her voice firm. "This child is hungry. Are we really going to stand here and listen to speeches while children in our town go without food?" Her words struck a chord. One by one, people began reaching into their bags and pockets. Someone handed Emma a sandwich. Another gave her a bottle of water. A man offered her a small bag of apples. Emma's eyes widened as she looked at the growing pile of food in her hands. "Thank you," she said softly. Mr. Wallace watched the scene unfold, his face pale. He had spent years focusing on big projects, on numbers and plans, but here was a stark reminder of what truly mattered. He stepped down from the stage and approached Emma. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I should have asked what you needed before telling you what I could give." The crowd was silent again, watching the mayor of their town speak not as a politician, but as a person. In the days that followed, Mr. Wallace couldn't shake Emma's words. He decided to visit the old part of town, where he found Clara cleaning a diner. She looked tired but determined. "I wanted to apologize," he said. "I met your daughter." Clara froze. "Emma, what happened?" "She reminded me of something I'd forgotten, that people need help now, not just promises for tomorrow." He then did something unexpected. Instead of focusing on the mall, he redirected funds to create community kitchens and shelters. He also launched a program to ensure that every child in the town had access to free meals at school. Emma became a symbol of change in the town. People started talking about the real issues, about helping their neighbors instead of chasing grand projects. Years later, when Emma was older, she often remembered the day she had interrupted the mayor. She didn't fully understand it at the time, but her simple words had sparked something powerful. And in the end, it wasn't the shopping mall that brought prosperity to the town. It was compassion. The act of one little girl speaking her truth reminded everyone of something they had forgotten in their race for progress. True success lies in caring for one another. The town grew closer, not because of grand buildings or new projects, but because people started seeing the faces behind the struggles. They understood that a community wasn't just a collection of homes and businesses. It was the people who lived within it. They began to share more, give more, and connect with each other in ways they hadn't before. Emma, though still young, became a beacon of hope. Her innocent words had ignited a change that no speech or policy could achieve. And as she grew older, she carried that lesson with her. Sometimes it's the simplest actions, like asking for help or offering kindness, that create the biggest impact. The mayor, too, transformed. He learned that leadership wasn't about towering speeches or ambitious projects. It was about listening, understanding, and serving. He often visited the community kitchens and schools, not as a politician, but as a neighbor who cared. The town flourished in a way no one could have imagined. Children who once went to bed hungry now played with full bellies and bright smiles. Families found support in one another, and the streets that had once been filled with silence now echoed with laughter and life. The moral of the story is clear. Progress is not measured by what we build, but by how we uplift those around us. True prosperity comes not from wealth or power, but from compassion, understanding, and the courage to stand up for what truly matters. In the end, Emma taught the town a lesson they would carry forever. Change begins when someone has the heart to speak, and the world listens. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.